Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live watch along. Macca and I are in action, ready. Well, Macca is half awake, but we're ready to go. That hour forward knocked you out, or what? How's it going?
It's gone okay, but I forgot to turn the heating on down here before I came down. So I'll warm up literally as the game goes on. It's freezing.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably cold. It's like one of those days outside where I see the sun from inside. Looks like it's nice outside. It probably is not. So I'll find out if and when I go out there. It wasn't too shabby, but Spencer's with us. Hello. Yes, it was. And honestly, Kepa doing Kepa things. Did you get to watch the?
I did. I watched the end of the first half and pretty much all of the second. And I mean, Bournemouth are definitely well drilled and definitely need a goalkeeper.
Yeah,
it's literally the cherry on their cake.
Yeah, I mean, it is so odd. But hey, I was saying in Discord too, looking at that team gives me hope that Hughes can get us some good talents over here. And maybe I wouldn't mind making Bournemouth our next Southampton, if you will, and kind of like raid them for a few players there, and it's a young team. They're all like 24, 25 and stuff like that. So but it was a bad result for their Champions League, because it looked like, if they win that one, mind you, the rest of their schedule is not that bad. They were kind of talking about it in the coverage, but I mean, let's get to the main event though, and I'm sure we'll kind of like talk about it like throughout as we go too. But the lineups are out. I'll try to zoom in so you can hopefully see it better over here. Well, or maybe you can't. What do you make of that? I mean, looks like a standard issue lineup for United now, with Casemiro and Eriksen in the middle, and then Xerxes up top, and then Merino is. How bad is Sterling that Merino is now starting as striker over there?
I mean, like, he's almost the same issue, I think, that we have with Darwin Núñez, in that he has all the talent in the world and his shots are pants. So they probably we want to have a chance at winning today. And also he runs funny, so there's everything going against him. But I think, I know he won more trophies at City, but I think we saw the best of him at Liverpool for that one season. I don't think he's ever recaptured that form from 13-14, and it's just been a slow, steady disintegration for him ever since. And I think his next move after Arsenal will be, if it's not to like Saudi or somewhere like that, it's like Brighton or Forest, something like he's the or Rangers or something like that. He's like the big name signing for that club, but he doesn't do anything when he gets there.
So do you think like his time at City then was more of a product of City than really him?
Yeah, I mean, look, you would have to be a terrible player to fail in that system. It wasn't that he was a bad player, but he wasn't, like, he stood out at Liverpool. Like, he was comparable to Suarez and Sturridge that season. And at City, he was just another one of the numbers because there were more effective talents there. So I think we saw the best of him in the sense that he was able to just be Raheem Sterling. Whereas at City, he was a cog in that particularly powerful machine. And now at Arsenal, he's not even a cog in a malfunctioning machine.
So let's see. Score. United take points is so disgusting. I mean, that's why this is like one of those great watch-alongs. I think it's a win-win for us. I mean, either Arsenal lose points and we laugh at Arsenal, or United get hammered, which is more what I'm leaning to be honest with you, is United losing this game and we get to see some of that comedy in that sense, and we get entertained either way. So it's a 1-1. It's a win-win. Spencer says, speaking of 1-1, 0-1 or 1-1, leaning towards 0-1. And Brian says he would love a 1-1 too. I would love a 2-2 or a 3-3 personally, but they're about to kick off over here. So what is your prediction as we go into this?
I agree with you. I think Arsenal are going to probably do something on them because, United's only chance of doing anything is the European competition. And yes. I think they're probably going to mentally at least put all their eggs in that basket against Sociedad. Especially, it's at Old Trafford, isn't it, the second leg?
Second leg is at Old Trafford. That was they got the first one 1-1, right?
Yeah, 1-1. So that's Amram. I fully agree with everybody who says that Amram looks like he's trying to get himself fired, because the stuff he comes out with is not like, if you spoke about that in a normal business company, you'd probably get fired, let alone a soccer team. But if he wants any chance of keeping his job, then making an impact in Europe would be a great thing to have going into next season.
Yeah, I'm torn on that. Like, is that him like saying, like, the typical built-in Portuguese arrogance kind of a thing? Is like, this is what it is, take it or leave it. I told you, like, this is how I roll, kind of a cockiness, or more like a Conte type of action where it's like, yeah, I'm trying to get fired, so let me act as douchey as I can so that I get my way, kind of a deal. Because he's not at the Conte level to be able to throw the weight around yet.
I live in a very Portuguese strong town, and I know loads of Portuguese, and they're not arrogant. They're more like, everything's going to fall apart tomorrow. It's all going to go to hell. And that's what it just reminds me of. That it's just he's looking at the worst negatives he can, because then when the good things happen, they feel a little bit better. It's almost Irish in that sense.
I mean, this is going to be the whole game, isn't it?
I don't know, because I've got the live score thing up on my feed right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about this?
Yes, this is pretty much the picture of the game, I think. all around Man United's box. But from what I've seen of Man United, for all of this talk from Amram, he doesn't seem to have there's no plan. Like with Klopp, we knew it was all forward intensity and pressure. With Mourinho and with Nuno Espirito Santos, it's all sit back, absorb, and then hit on the break. With Klopp, with Slot, it's control the game territorially. But with Amram, I just can't see what it is that he's doing. So they end up falling between the two stools all the time.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know. Like, it is a shit show he's taken over. So I don't know if it's a matter of, like, he can't get nowhere near what he wants to. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of like, so like normally I would say that, right? That would be my theory. This is not what he wants, but this is what he has. So it is what it is. But then he makes a lineup and he says things that makes it look like, no, we're going to, even if I don't have the personnel, we're going to play how I want to play. So what is this? Like, is the squad so far off from what he wants to play that what we see is just confusion, basically?
I mean, yeah, there's probably a huge amount of that. There's no, like, there's like, I hate to give Jamie. Oh man, I hate to give Jamie more ammunition for the I'm getting paid by Brendan Rodgers royalties for mentioning his name. But we saw that at Liverpool. We saw that he was going to try and play that possession style, regardless of who the personnel was. And at the start, it caused them some problems until it came together with Sturridge and Coutinho coming in. But then it fell apart when there was no Suarez and Sturridge anymore. And I think it's the same with Amram. I think you're right. I think there isn't a large element of, I'm doing this anyway, and then get me the players to make it work. And then if it doesn't work and I get fired, I can tell everybody you didn't get me the players to make it work. But also, we've seen it with several managers as well with these Man United players. They don't seem to want to listen anyway. So it could be a lot of column A and a lot of column B.
Yeah, that's true. But I thought that was the whole point of, like getting rid of some of these players, like, Rashford and stuff like that, was to set the tone that, my way or the highway, we're going to play, you're going to do what I say or you're not going to play, kind of a deal. So you would think the people out there right now are people who bought into the plan. Well, we were talking about, I think it was on the panel show, and Ayo, was talking, and I was asking him, like, is this kind of like a disservice to Amram, though? Because a new manager is coming in, he's putting in a system, and it's miserable. like the final product is miserable, even if he doesn't have the personality he wants, it's kind of hard to next year say, okay, now it's going to work, guys, and have people buy into what you're selling.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but you know, you have to. The first thing you have to do is convince the players that are there. So if they're not following along, if they're not convinced, you're already losing that battle. And then because they're going to finish in the bottom half of the table probably. So who are you going to bring in that's going to go to Manchester United in the bottom half of the table with players that clearly don't seem to want to play for the manager?
Yeah,
and other managers before them. Like if there was any sense of rebooting Manchester United, and not in the way that Manchester United just got rebooted there by the Arsenal player Garnacho on that fell there. But if there's any sense of rebooting, then they should just say, right, we're cutting everybody's contracts that's over like 25 or something like that, and then here's the bunch of academy kids that are coming through. We'll give you 3 years. Go. You're not getting fired. Unless you get relegated, you're not getting fired for 3 years. Build the next Busby Babes or the next golden generation.
I don't think you can do that anymore, can you?
You probably can't, but I think that's the only way it works. With
like I know what you're saying, but it's almost like at this day and age, especially at United, you can't like pull that off. So you almost like everybody has to find a happy medium, right? Like insert 2-3 guys and stuff like that and try to do it that way. I just
Except
feel
for Luke
like
Shaw. Luke Shaw has to find a happy meal.
Dude, we were looking at, I think it was with Kazi on Friday, like some of their contracts and how long they're going for and stuff like that. And I think, like, funny you say Luke Shaw, because I want to say, I can't remember exact, but it was at least 2027 or 2028 that they were paying Luke Shaw a lot of money.
It's a lot of chicken nuggets to be eating.
That is a lot of chicken nuggets to be eating. And that's all he's doing right now, too. And I think, that's the problem is they have a lot of wages they can get rid of, and goes back to what you're saying, like who's going to want to come into this mess? I think in the past they could kind of overpay. God, Onana scares the hell out of me. They can kind of overpay and bring people in, and it still had the United, name and allure or whatever, right? And everybody felt like I could be the one. But now, like you look at, we were talking about, they need a striker, right? Well, so does Arsenal, so does Liverpool, and so you have to overpay by so much more, and you can afford to overpay by so much more now. So it's really hard for them to attract people because those players have so many other options. And I always go back to this. If I was his dad scenario, like if you had a kid who was really talented, wouldn't you rather have them go to Brighton?
Yeah,
play a couple of seasons somewhere instead of coming over here and disappearing in this mess.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like Brighton and Bournemouth are more attractive prospects to a young player now than Manchester United are. The whole theatre of dreams thing is done. Well, that's not even an issue anymore. And if they were floating around the top half of the table or the Champions League spots, then you have an argument perhaps. But they're at home and they're being dominated by one of the most defensive teams in the league, and there's nothing about Manchester United as a brand that should attract a young player unless they're going to overpay on wages or something.
Because I think when you're 7th or 8th, I think it's a bit easier to say, hey, you know what? You're only like a couple of players away or something like that, or like a scorer away. I mean, you're like really far off. Nowhere. Yeah. So I always says, welcome to the Watchalong, by the way. But like that, don't forget the Saudi factor. That's a good point too, because I think in the past even the Saudis don't pay that much for Casemiro. Probably. I mean, if anything, the Saudis could help him in terms of relieving them maybe from some of these contracts and like take Casemiro, but even the Saudis are not gonna take those wages, but at least it's an alternative. But I know what he's saying, that you can't just overpay now, because the guy can be like, is a player, okay, an old guy, let's say, like a guy like Casemiro, let's say, moving forward, if they're given the same wages, going back to what Osaya was saying, do you go to Saudi or do you come to United? Which one is a better prospect? If your son was 34, what would you suggest that he does?
You go to Saudi because you want to. I mean, I see Saudi said Saudi is giving players generational wealth, which they are. I just being a poor boy, I just can't understand the value of an extra million on top of 50 million you should probably have in the bank at that point already if you were smart with your money.
I know what you mean, but that's why we don't have the millions, I think, too. So I always go back to that. Maybe that's why.
but I think like if you remember back to us in the 90s where we were still a big name, we were still floating around the top four. Even though top four wasn't Champions League at the time, we were still a name, but we weren't able to compete with Blackburn. We weren't able to compete with Man United money-wise, and we weren't able to compete with Arsenal eventually when Wenger came in terms of markets because he knew that African and French African market like the back of his hand. We weren't able to attract the big names. We couldn't get Roy Keane to come to us. We couldn't get Alan Shearer to come to us. And I think United are in that stage now. They're going to get the Stan Collymore, the one that has all the talent, but there's a whole lot of backstory to it that you're going to have to deal with as well. A whole lot of voices, as Brian Clough used to say. And that requires a special type of manager that I don't think United have. And it's definitely not Amram because it's all the Amram show there.
And we're United on a counter, which is the
they have a good counter here. But you have to respect the fact that Arsenal now have the entire team back.
What do you make of that, by the way? Slot was talking about that injury thing. I mean, I kind of I'm in the middle of this thing because I think it is partially luck. But then when it's happening over and over again, or when it's happening like in terms of muscle injuries all the time and not contact injuries, there has to be something said about like playing style and all that kind of stuff too. How much credit, I guess, do you give to Slot for lack of injuries that somehow were being considered lucky for?
I'd give him, number one, I'd give him a lot of credit because he's Dutch. And the Dutch are all about like fitness with the ball. Like it's all like you can get the same amount. Like there was that Verheugen guy, the Dutch guy that was at the Welsh team years ago that was like predicting injuries for players on Twitter and for clubs because of their training, what he knew about how they trained and what their game thing is. I actually have a friend who does that. He works with clubs to predict injuries, like muscle injuries with players. And he has like a software which clubs like input their training loads and all that kind of stuff. And then you got to start to go like, well, this player is going to need a break soon because they're coming up to like a point where they might be so fatigued that in the middle of the game they may pull something. And it's relatively accurate as a compared to like guesswork. It's not like lactate blood testing and all that kind of stuff. But that whole thing about managing your training loads is very Dutch. And the whole idea of like, I'm pretty sure it's been a long time since I've actually had anybody that could send me training plans for professional clubs. But if we look, we all know Klopp did running without the ball, like sprints and like distance running and all that kind of stuff, and separated out the fitness from the football. But I'm pretty sure if we looked at Slot stuff outside of the warm-up, everything else after that is done in like small-sided games and things like that, which are just as intense, but you can manage it a lot better. Because you're not doing two separate things. Because even when you take fitness away from the football, that's now 2 hours worth of work. Whereas that whole Dutch idea is why can't we just do that in an hour and then get an extra hour's recovery time? Maybe not start so intense. Maybe not try to get super fit for, the 2nd of September. Maybe we get fit for January, December.
United. Oh, no, that was horrible. Oh, still in the box. Xerxes. We'll have to talk about him too. I'm kind of like lost. I feels like some of these United players, it's kind of hard to tell even like what the hell. You see what Anthony is doing now that he's gone. and you know what he was doing before. So as much of as like he's hateable and easy guy to root against. Oh God.
But that's what you were saying though, is like, because Rashford is the same at Villa.
Yeah.
So there's something up about Manchester United where the ideas just aren't getting across the players.
Talent goes to die. But okay, go back to what we were talking about.
Oh yeah, I was just like, I think there's better like planning in terms of like understanding you can't run players into the ground like quickly. So that's why, like, when we see Gravenberch being a little bit tired, which he does look at, but and he keeps playing games, but I think they're also very aware that they're not overloading him in training during the week. So he may be tired,
knowing he's wearing down, kind of a deal. But let me answer this then, because everybody has this. Every club, every big club, you would think at this level has the science departments and all these physios and all that kind of crap. Is it a matter of manager style suiting it? Is a matter of managers buying into the science of it and trusting the science of it? Like, what's part of it that some teams are still? I mean, everybody has the same info. Ultimately, you would think similar in terms of, or has access to getting it. But is it some managers' style suiting it better, or like I say, they trust the science itself more and follow the science as opposed to old school? Nah, he'll be fine, and just like trotting them out there.
I mean, like fitness. There's as many fitness theories as there are tactical theories. Everybody has what the thing they like. But like, remember when Hodgson was the England manager and he wanted Sturridge to play, even though Liverpool told him Sturridge was injured, and he wanted to test his resolve by playing him in a friendly, which he then got injured in. And we lost him for, like, that was the 2014-15 season. That's when we lost him. And there was, I remember him doing an interview when he was the Liverpool manager and somebody wasn't going to play. And he said, I just do what the fitness team tell me to do. They say, like, but he was saying it really annoyed. Like, I wanted him to play, but the fitness team said he's not ready. But I think he's ready, but they get final say.
Yeah.
So I think if there's like trust between the fitness teams and the manager, then you're going to get a lot more effectiveness than if there's, like, as they say in old school, sure, Brillo pad his knee, he'll be fine next week.
But at the same time, I mean, Klopp used to say the same thing, like in terms of, like, they're telling me he only has 35 minutes, but I think it really depends on how intense those 35 minutes are as well. Osala says, Slot deserves a lot of credits. Former club doesn't have the same injury record since he left. Yeah, that's a good point. Formula of preventing injuries. I mean, I just hope, like, I agree totally, and I think so. I just hope we don't eat our words like this time next season and be like, well, I guess maybe we were lucky, kind of a thing. I just don't know. I mean, and then we've had injuries. It's not like we haven't had injuries. Maybe part of the luck is when you have injuries, they have been scattered in terms of timing and in terms of position. So even if you have 3 injuries, we haven't had them where they're all center backs or something like that.
Yeah, I think like that's, I mean, you're not going to avoid injuries any club at the top level. Also, even Sunday League level, you're not going to avoid injuries all season. Yeah. Somebody always has a tight hamstring in Sunday League football, probably around the time that their niece also has a christening in a pub that they have to go to. But I think, with Klopp, we played with huge periods of intensity trying to win the ball back, and then we played with huge periods of intensity immediately afterwards trying to score goals. And it was relentless. Whereas with Slot now, it's like, okay, we've done 30 seconds of hard work getting the ball back. Now just sit on the ball for a bit and get your breath back, get your legs ready, and then we'll go and try and attack, which I think makes a huge difference. Mourinho was always about that. If you look back, it was like they weren't a pressing team in the other team's half, but they worked hard in their own half. And when they got the ball back, if they couldn't hit Drogba immediately, they held it.
Yeah.
And then, they were able to, that's part of the whole.
I see the same thing in Fenerbahce now. Like, there's that initial look up, and then if it's not there, then it's a more of a relaxing. Yeah. Odegaard, if it was going to the corner, I don't even know. Like this Onana. What do you make of Onana, by the way?
He's terrible.
Ooh, that was a deflection.
Terrible. He's he's kind of like David James, almost. Like, he looks like he has the attributes to be great. And then we're probably going to find out, a few years from now that he was addicted to Call of Duty or something like that, and he just couldn't concentrate. Because his mistakes are concentration mistakes. Like, it's never like he's out of position wildly. It's always like he drops the ball at the wrong time, or he's like, he's passing into the opposition player, and then they just get a free attack on his goal.
Dude, Ayo was calling, by the way, for this game to be like a really boring 0-0, and 20 minutes in, I can kind of see that. Brian says, man, Xerxes is slower than Anon trying to use Oh, that's good.
I think he's on
what do you think? Because I don't know what Xerxes' position is. I know he's not striker, though, that's for sure. I think like he has the size, but I don't know if he's one of those guys that is like a attacking midfielder in a number 9's body. And sometimes that works wonders, and sometimes this is what you get. Or is he just being like played like, well, or he's just at United? Let's put it that way.
I mean, you're probably right. That's just being at United. But at the same time, there's a lot of like, when somebody just has that physical type, that they are just plopped into the number 9, and maybe he's actually a 10.
Yeah,
but this height, there's just a prejudice against putting tall number 10s into the number 10 spot for some reason. It's really funny, like when even at the top level, for the most part, a lot of the things you see happen at the top level in most leagues are the same things you see in like schoolboy football and pub league football. Like, tall kids are up front or down at the back.
Yeah,
the ones that aren't good with the feet, you're going and goal. The ones who can run forever, fullbacks and central midfield. Like, it's no different.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that is true.
They're just paid better.
Yeah, a lot better. A lot better. Spencer said, I was Chelsea in 4th.
Cole Palmer.
And it's a weird league this year. I think like there's those teams like that is 4 to 10. Or shit, you can make it 3 to 10, I guess. Maybe Forest has been a bit more. Let's take Forest out of it. But the 4 to 10 has not been able to get like a consistent run going. So, like a Brighton or like look at Bournemouth today. That's a game that they should win, add another win. But then they're like inconsistent, and then they like drop points. Seems like Manchester City have fallen now, which has helped them. Yeah, that's true. That's another. Like, that's the thing, though. Nobody has been consistent enough. So if you are half-ass consistent, you can kind of survive. I mean, let's face it. This league has become pretty darn boring if you're looking at the top and the bottom. So the only race is for that number 5 spot.
Yeah, pretty much. But like to me, it goes back to almost like what was said tongue in cheek there about football is pretty much the same at the top level as it is in the pub league level. Like, you need a spine, you need your goalkeeper, your good centre half, your good central mid, and your good striker up front, and or goal scorer. Let's not go like straight down the middle. Like, you need a goal scorer and you need a goalkeeper, and we're the only team that's have that consistently available, I think, all season. Whereas everybody else has had periods where something like as soon as City lost Rodri, that was it. Their central midfield was gone. That's how their spine was busted almost. And I think that's the problem. Like Bournemouth should have won that.
That wasn't a good ball in the box. I was hoping for a good ball into the box.
It was a random ball into the box.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like, let me cross it into the box. I've seen this in the movies. They cross it in from here, kind of across. I've seen a lot of goals coming from here, kind of thing.
But here's the thing. Just go back to what you said. If Xerxes was actually a proper number 9, he'd have jumped for that, regardless. Because all those big tall number 9s think to come in every header. He didn't even jump. He's not thinking that way. So he's definitely out of position.
And he's not even like that's not a dedicated run. It's not to the back post. It's not to the front post. You know what I mean? It's like I'm in the middle. Kind of like an ordeal is what I would normally be doing. United kind of settling What the hell
Bit
happened
of a
there?
crunch here between the United.
Ooh, that was like, I don't think it was intentional either way, but
No, I think it was just because the United
he
player
gave a
swiped the
foul
ball.
though, didn't he? Or did he just stop it?
I think he just stopped it because it looked like it was heads. Yeah, it was just
Yeah, I mean, that's just a collision. If he gave a foul, that's kind of
injured nipple.
okay. Come on, get up. Yeah, the fifth spot, I think actually it's guaranteed now. I see the conversation going on the chat. I think it's guaranteed now. I thought as of last week, I think it got guaranteed that the fifth spot, there will be a 15 going to the Champions League. So that fifth spot, the fourth spot is not even a thing, which, I mean, after this weekend, Forest basically says, okay, we're in top three. So you already have the three. It's just 4 and 5. Let's look at the standings over here. Because I mean, it looks like Wolves are going to, like, that distance is getting more and more comfortable over there. 6 points now between them and Ipswich. So it looks like Wolves are going to be the ones to survive. Who gets the spot, you think, for 4 and 5?
I think City will get one of them.
City is one of them. So you think Chelsea? So if you're throwing City in there, which I do agree, I think City will. You have Chelsea, Brighton, Villa within the vicinity, and Bournemouth and Newcastle right afterwards. Newcastle actually could climb up because they have, if they win their game, they're at 47 as well.
What I think is if we beat Newcastle next week, then they're all in for the Champions League after that. And it's just a question of what the mental impact of losing the final would have on them. If they win next week, then maybe they'll go, right, we're in Europe. We've won our first trophy. Now we're going to have to hang over for 2 or 3 games. So in that sense, I think it might be Brighton.
Man,
I think they're pulling results.
I just can't trust them to be like consistent, to keep going there. That's the only thing with them. I mean, I just don't think the consistency is there. And of course, you know, like this is like without looking at their schedule as well. But because I know, like they were talking about Bournemouth's schedule, where you know they're playing a bunch of teams on the lower bottom half of the table, so that should help the cause. And because I think normally you would not look at that, right? In the past, we would not say, oh, they're playing teams on the bottom of the table, because sometimes those could be trickier because they're battling for, relegation. But I think that relegation battle is going to be done even further in the next couple of weeks over here. So you're not going to get any resistance from those teams. So it does look better to do it that way. So says Newcastle needs Champions League. They could lose Isak without Champions League football. That's a good point.
To us. Yeah. You lose Isak to us.
What the hell is that? That's the thing, the whole Onana thing. It almost feels like sometimes, like, it's like very Trent-like. Like, I'm not doing good at this, but this is what I am good at, so let me force it. Like, what was that he just freaking gave the ball up? As Spencer says, I wouldn't sleep on Villa. Good evening is a great manager, and I think
he is.
Honestly, I would say Villa definitely if they were not in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if what are they 1-0, 2-0 up or something like that from the first leg?
3-1, I think, at the end.
3-1, yeah. So they get through to the next round. That's where he knows what side his bread is buttered on. And he's really good at knockout competitions.
Yes,
and that's probably where he's gonna put a bit like as long as they stay in pace, they're in Europe again next year, regardless. But it'd be nice to win that trophy, to go as far into the Champions League as possible, because that'll help them the next transfer window. We got this close, but if you sign for us, we might go a little bit further, kind of a deal. We're only in the Europa League this year, but we'll win it with you. He's really good at that knockout European competition. So I can imagine he's kind of he'll take his eye off the ball a little bit,
so he can win it, if you will.
Yeah.
So he's getting We are actually playing Villa next round if we go through. Well, unless like Club Brugge. And honestly, I thought they deserved better out of that game. They should have been up, and then they go down instead from a stupid error. But yeah, this game is a mystery because you can almost see. I mean, okay, you can kind of barely see United ever scoring, but you can see them getting something out of a counter. And you looking at Arsenal over there. Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm not worried about these guys, and I have not been worried about in 2-3 weeks because I just don't think they
Arsenal
are
aren't.
dangerous going forward.
They're not. I mean, they're not playing like a team that now believes they can win the league. I think it's like there's no incisiveness to it. Like that shot there across from the Arsenal's left across the box, that was almost met Luis Diaz's shot from yesterday somewhere in the distance. There was no like team wide, let's keep it going. It was just that happened.
By the way, if you're watching us on Legohead gets 800 million and has won one trophy. Excuse you, one trophy. Are you not counting the charity shields, Spencer? Because that makes it 3. So Arteta will tell you the math in trophies. He has won 3. But anyway, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button because it does really help the stream overall. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what the hell are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button while you're at it as well. Another shot goes wide. Trossard probably is like, man, I wish I stayed at Brighton. I still don't have to wish for an impossible. Yeah, I just don't think. Okay, let me answer that though. If we lost points yesterday, would that have opened the door for you?
For your Arsenal?
For Arsenal, I guess, not for you, but we have to be open really wide.
You can't open the door for me. You have to cut out a little bit extra on the frame so we can get through. But I think maybe, but even still, that would have been what, 13 points, 10 points or something like that would have ended up being if they won this as well. Like it's still a large gap at this point of the season because we've only a relatively few weeks left when you think about it.
Dude, that's the odd thing, right? It doesn't feel like that.
We said this on Thursday night. It doesn't feel like it's near the end of the season. It's the home stretch, but it's not. It feels like it's like November.
Yeah, I know. I think you guys were talking about it in the post match yesterday. It's so odd because it's still like you keep finding yourself saying like, "Yeah, but we can't keep winning games like this." Like, yeah, we can. It's like, we're pretty much done. There's not going to be games to be won anyway after a little bit over here. So
here's what I always think though: is if the internet existed in 1974, 75. Would we all be saying the same thing about Paisley? We can't keep winning games like this. Like it's gonna fall apart. Because he was a completely different beast than Shanks was. Although the tide was turning, I think at that point it was the call. Like we don't have to run 100 miles an hour all the time to win games like we did under Shanks. But yeah, no, we said that on Thursday. It feels less like the coming at the end of the season. United are so sterile, like it's so un-United like to not be able to finish an attack of any description.
It's like everything is like like it's just like one big tease anytime they get the ball in a decent situation over here.
Yeah, that's the exact sonic description of being sterile.
Oh, I think he was off, wasn't it?
Yeah, possibly, but that was even if he was off, he should have done a little bit better with that tap. It's an honor. Just hit it a little bit over his head height and he'll miss it, like Pickford and his short arms.
Bill says my first game at Anfield was in about 1980, 0-0 draw against Leeds.
I remember like the 80s, obviously, because I wasn't drunk at that point of my life, in Ireland.
Yet.
I was building up to it, but like I can't remember smashing teams regularly at all. Like it was always like a 1-0, 2-0 kind of a deal, like on Match of the Day, which I think is why when we beat Forest that 5-0 game, Tom Finney said it was the best exhibition of football ever seen in England. Like that was unusual. that Kenny Dalglish team is the team that started the hammerings, I think.
Was it not as open? Is that why you think? Because I know what you mean. It wasn't like you didn't get as obnoxious scores. This is becoming dangerous, and that was all came from a stupid ball in midfield, by the way. But
yep. No, I just like, I mean, we have to always remember when we're talking about how football went in those days. You could pass it back to the keeper, and you could pick it up, and
that's
slowed
true.
a huge amount of games down. And Liverpool were famous for it. It was Grobbelaar, ball on the ground, give it to Hansen. Hansen gives it back, he picks it up, rolls it down, gives it to Lawrence, and Lawrence passes it back, he picks it up, and then the other team's just getting frustrated then.
It's weird because now I'm like, what the hell were they even thinking with that rule? That's like a rule change that happened a few decades too late, right? Like you would think they would be like, man, this makes it really boring over here. I mean, you could get away with murder back then and just take the lead. And I mean, Mourinho is probably like, he would have like
Mourinho. I mean, he's already successful now, but imagine how many trophies he would have won if he was managing 20 years earlier. He'd literally be the best manager of all time.
Spencer says he's got a yes. I'm hoping for next season, making that trip to Anfield. Hopefully,
I hope he means pilgrimage there.
What?
I hope he means pilgrimage and not pillage. He's gonna pick a pillage
let's hope it is pilgrimage. I didn't even notice that. I kind of filled in the word.
It's bad enough that Canadians are trembling in fear. We don't need Anfield to be trembling in fear as well. Just because Spencer's going on a pillage. We love Spencer now. He's always here. He's always watching us. He's a great guy. And he has a Stan Lee Marvel type name as well. So he's probably some sort of masked superhero at night.
Pillage like you said?
Maybe I won't insult him because Spencer's such a nice guy, but the Pillage Idiot would be a great superhero name.
Where are you at, Spencer? I don't know where Spencer's joining us from. Yes, he has become an OG. He's a regular.
Yep, he is absolute OG.
Oh my God! Somebody clear the goddamn ball. Is
Arsenal.
Portland that much worse up top? I haven't seen enough of them, but see, you blew his cover, dude.
Just be like Iron Man and admit to all of it.
He's in San Francisco. He's got it made over there.
Oh, so it's still Wednesday over there. We won yesterday. I know you're in a different time zone with an hour change, but we won yesterday.
Different day zone. California is the way to go. Especially looking at the weather. Actually, we're finally getting spring over here. I think it's almost here. It's March 9th.
My neighbor across the road changed his tires from his winters to his spring tires, so it's definitely not winter anymore. Is
he like the neighborhood's groundhog? Like he's like, when he changes his tires?
Yeah, no, basically, he's a great guy. But as soon as I saw him change from his winter tires, I was like, right, that's it. Spring's upon us.
Or here comes a blizzard. If I did that, it would be like a sign of a blizzard to come. Yeah.
That's why I have a gas snowblower and an electric corded one. So if I start this gas one away, I don't have to worry about it.
Wait, you had two snowblowers?
Yeah, I have a small little electric one that you can plug into the wall because my driveway is tiny. So if it's like a light snow,
it's literally electric, or is it like electric start?
No, it's electric. You plug it into the wall.
Yeah, but those don't. I mean, unless it's powder snow, those don't do a whole lot.
They do. That's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
used to sell that crap, like working at Menards, and people would be like, people would come in and you'd be out of snowblowers, and it's we're talking like freaking like 8 inches or something. I mean, people would buy that, and I'd be like, dude, you're not getting very far with that. You know that, right? Because it's like it's heavy as hell out there. Like you need something like with horsepower to like at least boost it out of there. But I'm in Chicago, actually, Spencer. We have actually quite a few people in Chicago. Well, Gordon used to be here, but he moved. What was that?
They work quite well. Like it goes, you can get up to 10 inches of snow without having
to
tilt it. Yeah. The trick is to, and here's my piece of advice for anybody watching. The trick is not to go fully into the snow; is to leave a bit of space for the impeller thingy
So it doesn't get clogged up. Yeah.
so it doesn't get clogged up. But that's like a hack. But other than that, it works quite like that neighbor guy was like saying like he saw me pulling the thing out for the last snow we had because the gas thing is gummed up and I have to get it fixed. But and he was like, I wasn't expecting much, and then you were done in like 10 minutes. He was like, I have to get one of those. It's like they're great unless you have a power out.
Wait, Spencer says people are leaving in droves. Yeah, I mean, if it was a bit more affordable, that's like no, I can't stand the Bears. The funny thing is I'm a 49ers fan. So we'll swap if you want, man. You come here, I come there, and it'll be great for me. It'll work for me. I'm actually a 49ers fan,
They're probably leaving in droves because they hear Cozzy's going to move there at some point.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Hold on, where are you at, Osaya? Because he's saying that state that rarely gets snow like that. So I'm guessing like South Carolina or something like that. Like I would miss the snow, but I would have preferred the California weather to this over here. I mean, you don't know it till. I mean, dude. I mean, first of all, like I was in Istanbul, right? Texas. Okay. Well, watch out for Gordo. He's in your state now. Like you come over from there, and I was in London for like a couple of years for college, and I was like, God, this is miserable because you kind of, no sunshine, a lot of rain, kind of a deal. But then eventually, I was like, you kind of get used to it, but then you come over here to this ridiculous cold, and yeah, that took a while. Still not used to it, but
away from Ireland, we just get rain. So the snow.
Yeah,
the first year we had snow.
The
first year we had snow, I thought it was great, and then I had to shovel it, and then it wasn't because you get with the few times we do get snow in Ireland, it's gone by the end of the day almost.
Yeah.
But like we got like let's say 8 inches the first time I was here when we had like a snowfall, and then it was like, okay, that's proper snow. Pictures home to Ireland. Here's what it really looks like when it falls. But then it was like 2012, I think it was 2013. We had like feet of snow, like 3 or 4 feet of snow plus snow.
Life stops for a week or what?
Yeah, like I had a geo prism at the time. You couldn't see it in the parking lot. It was completely buried. And I was on a one-way street, and they didn't plow that street for a week, so we couldn't even get out, like to go to go to work. My wife had to have the security guys from a hospital that she's a nurse in come and pick up. Well, all the nurses they had to pick them up and bring them to the hospital because they couldn't get the cars.
Grab them with the helicopter. Lift them to the hospital.
But that's
I never thought that rain would affect me that bad, but I remember like maybe the second year into it, because I was there for like freshman year and sophomore year, and I want to say after the freshman year, maybe when I came back after summer or something like that again, I was like, yeah, man, this gets old. Like you wake up, and I never thought it would get to me, but it does get to you after a while where you like kind of open up the curtains. You're like, it's gray again. It's gray again. It's gray again. Beautiful place. And that's why I feel like, I always thought like people in the UK were like very nice and polite and stuff. And they got 10 times happier and nicer and politer when the sunshine was out because it was a rare occasion, I guess. So everybody was like extremely happy. You got punched in the face.
That's pretty much what Ireland is like. Just like the sun comes down, we're like, burn me, I'm the best one. So we're not really pale. Do you know what I noticed though? I was watching. I happened to, let's say, stumble upon the Doubters into Believers documentary thing, somewhere on the interwebs. I'm not saying where, but the motion is daily on it. And I was watching it, and it was like the bit where Pep goes to City, or Pep goes to Bayern Munich, pardon me, from Barcelona, and he's all like tanned and everything like that. And then I just realized he's pale now. He's been living in Manchester for so long. He's literally white as a sheet. There's no trace of suntan in him whatsoever.
The off season is not long enough to build that tan to last you for like a couple of months anymore. That's the problem with it. You need a solid off season. I was watching, I don't know what the hell I was doing, but I was like watching something, and I'm like, Oh, you can't see the score over here? Hold on, let me get you the. Oh, I know what you're saying now. Okay, sorry. Let me get our screen refreshed. I just wanted to make sure, like, you were able to see the game first of all, as opposed to. Well, let us refresh this and then look at the stats. These sad state of affairs.
I mean, this is how boring the game is. We're talking about weather patterns across the United States. Because Arsenal have had all the ball. United have done nothing with it when they've had it, and they've only had one shot off target, and it was like going towards the corner flag. It's a terrible game for the neutral. Which is not what you expect from Man United. Yeah, we just jinxed it now.
That's the yellow. Give that gentleman a yellow on the house. Thank you.
There you go. So Anthony Taylor.
Man, we got like a good weather conversation going here. God knows the game sucks. The only snow we get, Hassan is in Texas too, I think. Or did I just make that up? Hassan is also one of our regulars and OGs as well. So big up to you guys. I really appreciate it.
And he also has a Marvel Stanley double consonant name there, Hassan.
I think that's our fan base at this point.
Yeah,
we just appeal to the superheroes.
We are all superheroes.
Because maybe they're like, these guys need help. Like, I am needed. If they watch enough of these broadcasts, they know we need some kind of help. Bruno scores this with his rat face, you think? Or
it's like
California too.
If there's anything that's going to annoy Arsenal fans more, it's to concede after all of this time of domination from a free kick from Fernandes. He just looks like a 10-year-old boy who got his dad's shavings and stuck them on his face.
He looks like a 10-year-old rat that's got.
Yeah, that too.
Spencer says this has been a snooze fest. I hope to God you're talking about the game, though.
I hope you're talking about this. There's probably insomniacs now who are like tuning into the channel now, like, oh, this is
Bruno.
Oh, you were right. He did it. Free kick right into the top corner. It means so much to him until the end of the season when he asks for a transfer. Oh man!
Oh, yeah, he just collapsed with emotion there.
This is the beauty of this, though. Like, we can laugh at Lego Head now because his ideas have fallen apart again. Oh, they have a special dance on his head.
What is the ideas on his head? That's what I think. That's not a.
That is a great free kick, though. That is a great free kick. We need more people, especially at Liverpool, taking outside to inside free kicks instead of having everything on the in swinger.
Is that just a bad wall or what? That's what I'm trying to see here. Is that like a short wall or?
No, yeah, I think there's like 5 or 6 in the wall. That was a good free kick.
Dude, I mean, as hateable as he is, he's a good player. And he was their only good player for a while. But it's just a guy that I would not want to...
He's an effective player.
Yeah, getting is like... I mean, him being a captain, I think, is like... just says everything you need to know about this team. Because, that's the last thing I want from my captain. Yeah. And that's why, we've had this conversation before with like Trent being vice and stuff like that. I just don't want like your captain there has to be, you got to be able to look at your captain and say, yep, that's the captain right there. Kind of, what I mean? It's hard to explain, but there are certain players you look at and you're like, yep, that guy should be a captain.
Like if from our point of view, like veteran wise, I would have picked Robertson over Trent. Because he's,
exactly.
If you look at all the videos and the TikToks and all that, he's like the heart and soul of the team sometimes. Like,
he's like a weird bond to people, right? And I think and that's part of it is being there the longest, I think. But
yeah.
And just like that, it's going to be halftime. Do you think they keep this?
United?
Yeah.
Nah.
I think this is. I think who was saying 1-1 before we kicked off.
Yeah, I think there's an Onana mistake in there.
There's a mistake, or there's like a goal that comes in, and then they keep. It's weird. This is their only chance, really. Like set pieces is the only way to Like
What's
get
going to
goals
happen is
for
Sterling's going to come on and score the equaliser. That's what's going to
after
happen.
we talk all this shit,
After we talk crap about.
and then just run back like a T-Rex back to the kickoff. Yeah, I can see that.
He runs like a 4-year-old who's trying to jog in place.
Ooh, and clear. That should be half, right? Oh, Anthony wants a counter. Anthony's gonna get his ass beat because he finished the game. To be fair, that was a horrible pass anyway. It wasn't going anywhere. I think that's why Bruno is sending everybody away. He's like, I screwed up the pass anyway. Because I think if that's an accurate pass, I don't know if he stops the game. Arteta is going over there trying to fix that Lego
How
head.
many coats is Amarin wearing? He looks like he's wearing 5 jackets, Amarin.
He's from Portugal, dude. He's probably like, dude, he's like, God,
he's
damn, it's
freezing
cold over here. Oh, man. Last time Arsenal scored at Old Toilet more than once was when they got trashed 8-2. Really? I mean, like, even regardless of how shitty they are, like Trafford is always, Old Trafford is kind of like a tough place to go away to. I'll be honest, though, I did not expect this. I thought they were going to get smashed. Because I thought Arsenal would get a goal. And if Arsenal gets the first goal, I think that ends up being like a 4-1 or something like that. But Jamie says, too busy having fun watching my toddler run around the pad, drawing on walls and floors. Well, I mean, you could have just watched United play soccer. So pretty much
just
the same.
Just wait for Sterling to come on. It'll look exactly the same. Because he runs funny.
Oh, God. So should we take a short break then?
Yes, please.
Get something to drink because I don't know what I did with this coffee.
I have to do the opposite of that.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
You do that. I'll take it in. You pull it out. Okay. We'll be back shortly, people. Join us for the second half. Did you see heaven on earth is on the pitch, and so are we back on live for this exciting matchup. Did you take care of your business during halftime?
Yes, I ate an entire apple pie before I came back down.
I did grab a sandwich at halftime, I have to admit. Ross comes in. So you think these first 5-10 minutes are key over here? If they don't get the equalizer, this is a done deal?
And I wouldn't say it's a done deal because it's United. They're quite
Yeah, that's
capable
true.
of shooting themselves in the foot in the last minute.
But here's the danger right here is like somebody like Garnacho and stuff. Who came out? Let me take a look at
Lenny
that.
Yoro.
Oh, yeah, he was not. So that's dangerous, right? I haven't even like heard of this kid before. Not that I'm following United very closely, but yeah, man, Emery has like layered up.
Yeah, seriously. It's like he bought all the jackets in the store, the Man United Superstore.
I think they gave him the kit. Like, you don't have to wear all of them. Like, just whichever one fits the day. Like, it's just like... That's the thing. Yeah, Xerxes is slow, and I think it's not. That's why he's more like a number 9, but his play is more like a number 10. It's just a weird ordeal. It just does not fit. But I can see. Let's pull up the stats over here. But I can see United getting like a second goal and ending this comedy once and for all for Arsenal over here. But I mean, after yesterday's results, even if they won this game, it was going to be like whatever, another week where you guys couldn't close the gap kind of an ordeal. But if they lose points here, I think it's already a done deal. But I said it when they lost Starboy, when they fall behind, they will have trouble winning games with no strikers. Yeah, the game is far from over. Definitely. But I can see Arsenal getting more and more desperate, Mecca, and like leaving space in the back even more now.
I mean, they're almost already doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
This first 5-10 minutes, like it almost like you said, they're trying to make an impact in this first 5 or 10 minutes, and then that's when they'll get exposed. What I think might happen is they might give up a penalty.
Oh, we almost had one. I'm telling you, yeah, at the beginning of the second half, United looked like the closer team to scoring, which is really scary. You know, that's when things is going to go south for them. So there's that.
United is just showing exactly what we said in the pre-match yesterday for our game against Southampton. Back threes always become back fives. There's no way around it.
Yeah. I mean, United will be. You would think at this stage, United is like, let's just not lose. And anything else you get is icing on the cake. So I see that not everybody went with the wearing black thing, but were you aware of the protest? Like there was a lot of fans wearing black today.
Nope. Were they protesting?
They were showing it before the game in like, fans protesting the club kind of thing. But then there's like guys walking with a bright red jersey in between them. So I was like, people who did not get the memo. It's like, dude, I would not least walk with the group.
So
oh my God. Seriously?
That was Fellaini levels of dribbling out of the field. Well done, Dalot.
It's like, what, these lines are when it's over? Jesus. Yeah, I mean, that was a great chance for a breakaway, and it's like, it's just like, I mean, it happens, I guess, but it shouldn't happen at this level, man.
There's a lot of things that shouldn't happen at this level, and it frequently does.
Yeah, that's true too.
Bell throws is one of them. Overhitting corners, that's the one that still gets me, like absolutely irritates me, that professional players smash corners past all of their own teammates.
Overhitting is more annoying than underhitting, because underhitting you can get away with it because you don't know if there was like something practice for the front post or something like that. So you can be like, oh no, he was supposed to. But the overhitting, yeah, there's no compensation for that. Here's a corner kick.
Arsenal corner. And now they've changed. So at the start of the season, all the players were front loaded at the near post, and now they're back loading them all at the back post and not using them at all.
Ooh,
that was close though.
That was a good effort. I don't know if he had to save it.
I don't think he did.
No, right?
Yeah, that was going over.
Yeah, I think he's going over, but
no.
Did he even touch it? He did, but I think, yeah, it's going over. 5-0 corners. I mean, if you look at the stats, yeah, the stats are pretty lopsided. That's for sure. But I think I'm just going to pull this, actually. It might be better to have as our...
Not on air, please. Timothy will get pulled off the YouTube channel. Oh, I want somebody to score that corner. I know Suarez tried against
exciting, and you don't let me. I mean,
that would be a great corner goal to score, even if it was Declan Rice.
Oh yeah, Declan Rice, your favorites.
Yep.
No, I figured these stats are better. Since you won't let me show the other one, I guess we're gonna have to go with this. You're no fun.
7 shots to 2, and 1-0 down.
I mean, is Højlund this bad? I guess is what I want to know. Brian has to go do Sunday stuff. What is Sunday stuff? Smoking?
Laundry.
Smoking something in the smoker, or explain what Sunday stuff is, because it's kind of late for church. That was your Sunday stuff. We even have Mecca over here, so there can't be any church activities going on right now.
Yep. It's what was I going to say? Declan Couscous Spencer says I want to say there's something.
I don't know if I think.
Oh yeah, Højlund. That's it. Højlund looks like the kid. And Darwin Núñez is the same for me, who was the big kid in schoolboy football and then just got promoted because of his size, and then once he got to the level,
and then fucked around and found out.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it happens so often. There's so many. It's like there's so many studies on like that early age effect thing. You know, where the players that make it in the initial stages and academies and stuff are all the big early development players, the early development kids, but the ones who actually have the longer careers were the ones that were a bit smaller and little bit younger in the calendar year.
Yeah.
And that's what Højlund, he's just a big strapping kid. And if he wasn't, if he was, you know, Messi's size, I don't think we'd even know who he is. He'd be doing, you know, Uber Eats or something like that right now.
By the way, here they come. Oh, finish that. Oh, that's a good save. That was a nice save. That was a pretty good hit. That was a pretty good hit. Okay, I just saw this first. Brian Shelton saying he's selling his parts. Like I thought it was selling like a kidney or something like that, but he's selling his old pool parts. I was like, I'm not selling my parts.
I would have just left that one off and just let everybody think he was selling body parts. That's how bad the economy has gotten.
Yeah, that's a pretty good hit as a one-time shot. But if he finishes that, man, yeah, this is gonna be an interesting second half over here now. I mean, I guess it couldn't be worse than the first half, right?
Yep. It could. It's United.
Oh, there you go. Your favorite short corner kicks. Even worse, on the ground corner kicks. What the hell was that?
It's just I can't believe that United fans think United should be up near the top of the table with this kind of performance, and I can't believe Arsenal thought they were going to challenge for the league with that amount of inconsistency.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just relentless this season. I do like the narrative around us that even when we're playing bad, we just can't be beat. I like a team like that. You know,
that's a sign. That's always a sign. See you later, Brian. Deliver your parts. You got to do what you got to do these days. Oh, that was actually some good midfield play, and comes to abrupt end.
That was a great pass if the whole play had been back about 15 yards. That would have been a great ball. was just too close to the keeper for it to work.
Maybe they were shocked they could pass around like that in the middle of the pitch, so they thought this must be further back. That's a foul, isn't it? Never mind, this Anthony Taylor just letting people kill each other. That should have been a foul initially, but okay. Pretty bad when you're rooting for United to get a foul, but
you know what I always find interesting is if you watch it, because I do this, I don't listen to commentary when I'm watching football matches. I keep the sound down, mostly because I'm deaf and I can't hear anyway.
Wait, so you watch in silence?
I watch the match without any sound because you get to actually see the randomness. Like you're not following the narrative of the commentary. So
I hear you.
Yeah, I don't hear anything, but but you get to see how like all the statistical studies have shown that the game is 50% random and 50% skill, and people forget the random part of it.
Yeah.
That like when I say things on the Discord, like we should we're struggling, like just launch the ball in and just let chaos take over for a little bit. Like it's a legit thing to do because the game is 50% random chance, and if your constructed build-up isn't working, then you may as well try that.
I think a lot of teams don't do that because they feel like they're not going to get back. Because once you start just launching it into the box, teams rarely go back to, okay, let's go back to our regular thing. It just becomes like a launch fest after that. So I think like managers are kind of afraid of that. Like they don't feel like they're going to flip the switch back.
It's because managers are stupid, like players are, except me.
The genius.
Ate a whole apple pie in half time.
That's all you need.
That was a big one as well.
Coach, any tactics changes? No, hold on. I'm busy finishing this pie.
I'm eating pie. Shut up and leave me alone. Figure it out.
Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, I would love to be in a Mecca locker room halftime. Well, eat. I was going to say talk, but halftime eats.
Yeah.
You know how like Mourinho used to leave earlier? Like he would go to the halftime like a minute early. I can see you doing that just to order it in or pick it up on the way in, like sign off for the Uber driver.
20 minutes into the first half, just to pick up the Burger King Impossible Whoppers order and the 3 apple pies.
Hold on, I gotta go sign up for DoorDash.
Arsenal need to go on and not bring Sterling on.
Oh, something happened there. Can you still see or no?
No, we can see the game here, and we're probably going to get taken out the air.
Oh, whoa.
Extra added treaty bonus there for people.
You saw a red card answer the game. No, I was trying to get you our footage over here, but somehow it went away. So I'll try doing that again. Are you back in action with me?
Yeah, I'm out. And United have another attack on the right.
Oh, come on, man. That was a good flick. I'll give him that. It was a good effort.
The funny thing is that the Arsenal keeper is now pulling off saves that you wanted to pull off when you're 1-0 up as Arsenal. Not when you're 1-0 down.
Oh,
that was a really nice flick. That's what I mean. He's a number 10. He plays like a number 10, and he's in the wrong position.
But I don't think, he doesn't have the body or the... Like, he doesn't have the body. Yeah, it's like a number 10 stuck in a number 9's body trying to get out.
That's what I always say. I'm a number 9 in a number 10's body trying to get out.
I'm directing
traffic. That's why I'm eating all the apple pie, so it can burst at the seams and break out. It was apple pie from the fridge as well. People are always saying you're not supposed to put pie in the fridge.
Really? Why is that? I'm not
I
a big
have no
pie
idea.
person.
It's fantastic that way. It's nice and cold, and it holds its shape.
It holds the shape. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But that's because that's what I like about usually the pie. But I'm not a big pie person.
I'm not. I just apple
but
pie.
it's
Is
just
number
like
one.
an apple pie and like
Yeah.
like fruit pies and stuff like that. Kind of.
I think we put Temujin's
Cooked fruits. I say this at home all the time. Very rare exceptions to that. There are all kind of connection issues. I can't believe that United is winning this game.
You froze there like you were in the fridge with my pie, which is not in the fridge anymore. Let's be honest, Nathan.
I was heading there with the pie.
The
I don't know. As long as you can see the game on your end, I'm not sharing.
It's frozen on my end.
Oh, okay.
That's what she said.
I don't know what's going on here. That doesn't sound good, but that does not sound good at all. Okay, let's try this again. Trying to do it so that's for if you're watching us live, so that we don't we're on the same time. Nobody's like 10 seconds ahead of each other and stuff. Spencer does it all the time. Spencer somehow is in the time zone, like he knows when the game is over or who scored and stuff way ahead of everybody else.
Suzy is like that as well. Suzy always gets the scores like 10 seconds before we get them.
Maybe they're like, that's the superhero aspect. Maybe they can see the future. Oh, there we go. There we go. Xerxes. Oh my God.
If Spencer can see the future, he can tell me how many days I have left to live after eating all that pie.
Probably a few days less. I can't see the future, but I can see that it's probably a few days less than it was before the apple pie.
It's got fruit in it. It's healthy. All 1,000 calories of it.
Yeah, fruit cooked to death with a lot of sugar. What can go wrong?
And cream. I had cream with it too.
Oh, well. That only made it worse, I think.
All those preservatives will keep me young.
And
until
by the way,
RFK Jr. gets rid of them.
17 minutes into the second half over here, and
it's a little bit more dramatic than the first half, but not by much.
Yes, it definitely is. I think there's and it's gonna get more and more. I think because there's unless Arsenal score like now, I think there's kind of like a desperate aspect of it's coming into play every second we go 1-0. You're already seeing like the second half. And I think, maybe that's something like United talked about and said, hey, these guys are going to get desperate, come at us full speed, should be able to hit him on the counter. I don't know, like how slow is Højlund? I almost feel like he might be the same thing as Núñez in the sense that, he doesn't have the discipline to like help defend. He's just going to go actually make things worse by pressing. Like, I hate how people think like, because Núñez runs fast at people take it as he's a great presser of the ball, and I don't think so because he takes brutal angles when he's pressing.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing people don't get is that when you press, the first player is not supposed to win the ball. It's a bonus if they do, but you're supposed to force them in one direction so it makes them play predictable. So everybody now knows where to shift.
Whereas you'll have the goalie, you'll have two players to each side. And Núñez will be like running straight in the middle, just not effectively play at all. So even worse, now he's passed around. So the next guy has to step up. Next guy, people don't understand that, that's actually worse. I'd rather not even have him run at the goalie at that stage because you're just jacking up our shape. Lego heads.
That's what I like about Slot. I mean, Klopp's press was, it rarely fell apart, but when it worked, which was most of the time, it was very planned. All the runs were very, very planned.
I think ours is too, but Núñez can't keep the plan.
No, but for Slot, if you look at it, we do have a period where we go for the full out press, but after that, it's all about forcing angles. And making it more difficult for the team to break through the opposition by going straight through us. They have to go out wide usually. And that's the thing is, once it's out wide, it's coming back in one direction, so you can start planning for how we're going to defend this.
Yes.
It's when it's in the middle that's a bit of an issue. Benitez was great at that as well. Force it out to the fullback positions and then defend from there. But Nunes doesn't help either one of those. He doesn't cut out angles and he doesn't press properly.
Another corner kick. 65 minutes in. I mean, for all this, the position has stayed the same. We were looking at the stats earlier. I mean, shots on targets actually is even now, with like the couple of counters that they've had in the second half. A couple of huge saves, really. This game could have been out of reach.
That was pathetic.
That was, right?
Odegaard looks like Timu Jordan Henderson.
Was that Odegaard or was that Trossard?
Oh, Trossard. Sorry, Trossard looks like Timu Jordan Henderson.
Yes, he does a little bit. I don't know, the way he left Brighton and stuff like that. God, how did this Arsenal, is it just a reflection of the manager? Like, I didn't have this many players on Arsenal that I despised, I don't know, like 3-4 years ago. Now you look at the squad up and down. I mean, they have like, rapists in the middle of the field. You have guys like Martinelli, who I used to like when he was a young player. Now he's like full-blown Brazilian where he's constantly diving and all that kind of crap. They got whiny face Jesus over here from City, who's in my top 5 of hated players. It suddenly has become a squad that I just cannot stand. Odegaard is probably the exception. Like, I don't mind him, I should say, but
they're like the 1970s Leeds of 2025. Like, everybody hated that Leeds side.
Yeah, but it's not. Is it for the same reason?
Yeah, because they did all the dark arts and they were horrific cheaters. They were overly defensive, very cynical, and they didn't win as much as they were expected to win. I think Shanks won more over the same period of time as Don Revie, but he won leagues.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, obviously, as you win, you are going to get more, hate, if you will. But it's not even just that. Like, I literally find more players like annoying in the Arsenal team than the City team. So, which is really weird. And, so it's not winning. Like, everybody's like, oh, because they're winning. I'm like, no, it's not winning. It's just because I can't stand Arteta, and I think like they have become a reflection of Arteta on the pitch.
No, they have. I mean, you could hate the Man City team because they're relentlessly successful and they do play good football and they have all the resources to continue to be relentlessly successful. But this Arsenal team is just the players. It's just the players that are dislikable.
Yeah, true.
I mean, one of their best central midfielders is a national traitor. Let's just put it that way. Controversially. But it's their personalities are disliked. It's like you're not disliking the team for what the team is achieving. It's not that's not that kind of thing. It's literally they're just awful people. I heard, I read somewhere that they like to every single Arsenal player likes to kick kittens in the face. That's what I've read.
It's part of their practice warm-up, I heard, yeah.
That's part of the warm-up is they like to kick little kittens in the face.
Bring out the kittens!
and then they go into the crowd, and then all the spectators that are in wheelchairs, they tip them over just before kickoff. That's what I heard, allegedly. That's what they do. That's how dislikable they are.
I mean, unless proven otherwise. I'm just rolling with that. Yeah.
Do your research, people. Do your research.
Do your own research, even better.
I don't have to offer any proof. Do your research.
This is dangerous. What I love sometimes, though, is when these are get sky high, you're literally wasting like a minute and a half getting this all set up over here. In some way. Look, I mean, it's already been 30 seconds that they've been setting this thing up. So it could be the biggest waste of time if they don't get something out of it. because we're talking to that guy, talking to this guy.
What I don't get is standing 2 or 3 people over the ball. Like
the wall in front of the wall?
No, like standing over the kick. Like, it's not going to be a surprise. Like, nobody ever does that. Nobody ever stands 2 players over and then a third player just runs from nowhere and takes the free kick. There's no element of surprise. Just put the player that you want the kick, take the kick, and then put that spare player where you could use him better.
Hold on. Mateusz has seen the drill, actually the full drill we must have turned off. So after they kick the kittens in the face, then they hold their face as if they got scratched by that kitten that got kicked. That's the full drill.
That's what happened to Pep Guardiola. That's what happened to Pep. He was trying to rescue the kittens.
That's not what I told you to do. What is happening here? Shaving foam everywhere. Dude, this took 2 minutes.
Oh, that's the ready whip that I use for the apple pie.
You'll be out there licking that shit up the grass.
Yeah, seriously.
You guys are wasting it. Yes, literally, we wasted 2 minutes
of time
for this.
Bring me the rhubarb crumble. That's what I would be saying if I was on the pitch there.
Bring me the kittens as well. That's what you're saying. Oh, man. Yeah, that was
terrible free kick, right? Into his head.
Literally took 2 minutes for that comedy. I mean, more power to them, I guess. They only have 90 minutes left now. Oh, it makes me look forward to Arsenal Fan TV afterwards.
I mean, the pattern seems to be set now. United are just going to sit in and try and hit on the break, and Arsenal are just going to try and play around them and try and win free kicks. I bet that's what's going to be.
My only worry is they freaking had their chances already. So that's like a stupid foul to give. Stupid set piece to give. And how is that? I'm forgetting this. Like, shouldn't they just kick it into the player and get the yellow card? That's what I would do every freaking time when someone is in front. Unless he said, wait for the whistle. There's Sterling. They keep showing Sterling. Is that foreshadowing?
They hope it is. Either that or there's breaking. He's going to Saudi, and that's
maybe that's
their shots in ahead of time.
Foreshadowing. Hold on, Arsenal is begging for a penalty. Didn't see what the hell happened there, but to me, it looked like when that happens, I feel like it was so close proximity that they will not overturn it if it wasn't given.
I think one of their players touched the ball with the hand, and they're still trying to get a penalty anyway. It's the Harry Kane method of claiming fouls.
To be fair, Harry Kane would get the penalty, so
probably, yeah.
There's a method to his madness. Going the wrong way, bro. Ooh. Oh, did Højlund come in this chaos that we missed? Or no? Xerxes is busy doing a bad impression of a left back. I thought, like, up top, the dude was... I'm assuming that was Garnacho still. What is this? It's the worst when you have like puts. I mean, not necessarily. I guess it doesn't even matter if Arsenal win this game, right? At the end of the day, it's not gonna. It's gonna be one less week of this. But, man, Hassan, this is a spoiler alert. Waiting to happen. 1-1. I should turn the comments hidden over here. Your boy, your favorites.
Couscous.
Shouldn't they be like celebrating less and running for the kickoff?
And running to get the ball back. Yeah, that's what I mean. They don't look like they want to win the league.
Notice there were only 4 guys there. Everybody else was like, yeah, we got other stuff to do.
That reminds me of
I agree with Spencer. United is going to give this away.
But that's the great thing about today. We get to laugh one way or the other.
Exactly.
great.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, like them losing points would be great and everything. It would bring us even closer. But honestly, if they win this, it's going to be like, okay, whatever. Like we're still up 13 points or 10 points if you guys beat Chelsea. So 9 games to go, 10 points up. I'll take it.
It's the iftar break.
Is it really?
Yep. That's where they're focusing on Mazraoui.
I guess, yeah. Is he the only one? Did the kid screw up or something? Why are they showing the kid?
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that's nuts.
But this is the thing. This is the thing I was saying yesterday about the Nunes kick on the Discord that got massively misinterpreted by people with agendas. No, but there's refs that'll give that. That's why you don't do stupid things. There's refs that will take that and give it, and you can't give them an excuse because Highland's on now. We foreshadowed that. He's on finally. Time. Beavis and Buttheads, love child.
And Collier came in to kick a couple of people.
Highland looks like that kid whose mother told him he was handsome all his life, and he isn't, but he acts like it.
How the hell did you get that? Poor Hoylands. I'm waiting for a Hoyland goal after all this. That's a foul. Like him. He has... Okay, does the director have a crush on Sterling, or what's going on over here?
Like
such a fine man. Can't look away. Just keep going back to him. Like,
I like that the television thing had that little sponsorship from Instacart as soon as they focused on Sterling there.
If Raheem Sterling on Instacart, I'm gonna say this shit is scripted. To be fair, by the way, if they get anything out of this game, they should be thanking Raya and anything else. Oh, that's a good ball. That was a bad header, man. That's a good ball.
Yeah. You don't really see proper attacking headers anymore. They're always like across the crossbar and not down towards the feet like you used to do in the old days.
I think it's more like how the balls are coming in a little bit too, doesn't it?
I don't know. I'm not aware of their private lives, Timuchin.
That's how they come about, I hear. Do your research once again.
Do your research, people.
Oh, man. Is he gonna? Oh, that was nicely done, actually. Bad shot at the end, but I think by the time he got that set up, he used all his energy up. So.
Yeah. And also, he tends to go from really good to really crap in the space of 5 minutes.
Yes.
Fernandez. Look, I think it's all mental with him. I think he's thinking Arsenal are going to win this now, and now he's all upset.
Damn it, we lost.
But he's like Nunes. He's such an emotional player. Like he coasts on whatever the emotion is in the moment.
I would like Nunes. Yeah, the Nunes talk yesterday just blows my mind at this point. That's a good ball into the box, to be fair, but good heavens, clear that. This is going to be another 11 minutes of loaded into the box. And I don't think, like United, for a team who's going to sit back the next 10 minutes, they just don't have that I just don't feel like they have that resolve as a team.
They
to
don't,
hang
and
in there.
it's not even how they train during the week. Like with us, slots training the players to sit in because they have set positions they're taking up.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's just like,
stay back.
We've trained. Yeah, it's literally we've trained all week to dominate the ball, but we don't want to lose this, so everybody sit back. But I've no idea what you're going to do when you get there, and neither do you.
Yeah, because I remember, like, it's almost like, like you had those guys, like, where you were like, okay, stay back, like, because you're protecting a lead or something like that. And then, as a defender, you're like, okay, like, just let's not stay back, like, help too. Like, it's just like where you're standing. It's like what you're doing that's important over here. Yeah, this is, 1-1, I think, was called early on. And I still think United will find a way. I don't know which one it will be. Arsenal will find a way to win, or United will find a way to lose, or a combination of both. Whereas Matush would say probably a bit of both.
I don't know if Arsenal will find a way to win. I think if they do, United are going to give it to them. And then I don't think the Evertonization of Man United has actually happened yet, so we won't hear choruses of boos.
To be fair, wouldn't they be happy with this result over here?
Yeah, it's United. They're never happy with results.
They were like, hey, we didn't expect this. I don't think a lot of United fans went to this game expecting. And sometimes it's weird, right? Like fans go to a game, like a lot of these guys, wearing black and stuff. They were almost like looking for her. Is he on? Dude, I thought he saved that into the goal, by the way, for seconds.
Mostly because that's the thing
to do.
Yeah, that's mostly because that's what he would do.
That's horrible defending. Lindelof is not aware of the guy on the left, that he's worried about the guy on the right, and like screwing up the line because of it. Yeah, you just don't see them pulling this off, to be honest with you. Even though it's 8 minutes, it's going to be like 80.
It feel like that. I could eat that pie all over again.
What is happening? Scully's looking for a reason to get a red card.
No, it's Highland this time.
Oh, Highland's a big boy.
That's what I'm saying. He was a big strapping lad all the way through youth football, and that's what got him where he wanted to go.
His mom would say, he's so handsome.
So handsome. All the girls will love you. And then
started laying that around.
In her mind, she's saying after that, as long as you're rich.
That's a foul. Oh, okay. Could have played advantage. They had the ball. Then is that a VAR check? Or is that? I was gonna say. That's just, if we're checking that now, these games are gonna take like 3 hours if we check every single thing.
More commercials. That's what their plan is.
More pie. Okay, people, get up. The fuck? It's probably good for Casemiro. They're like, good. Let's not go up and down the pitch because I can't.
I think he tripped up over one of the shaving foams.
It's like we would get fouls for these when I was at Real. Yeah, this is interesting now, though. Definitely, at least some exciting end to this game. Oh my God, he is so slow, dude.
He should have taken it on the first touch.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper wasn't expecting it.
Like, what else do you need? You have the whole freaking goal. Wow. That's crazy. You had the whole freaking goal in the middle of the box almost, and you try to dribble it in. Dude, shoot!
Yeah, first touch. Keeper's not expecting it, so he's not set for it.
I mean, really, Rice saves the day there, but honestly, like if you're United, it's almost like you'd be disappointed not to win this game. Like with the chances you've had in the second half, right? You've had a lot more clear-cut chances than Arsenal did. Arsenal just has the ball. I would fall right about now, kids, and get the foul. There you go.
Heaven on earth.
Heaven on earth, the good heavens. What is this kid, like 19, you think?
Yeah, something like that. Heaven.
Aiden. Is it Heaven or is it Heaven, you think? I'm assuming it's Heaven. He was 18 years old. Crazy if you think about it. 18 years old. Not as, I mean, is it just me? This would be a lot more crazier, maybe like 10 years ago. Now there's like 18, 19-year-olds playing on top teams all over the freaking place.
No, I think it's been fairly regular. It's just that they've been much better back in the past.
They've been better in the past. I feel like they were not trusted.
You had to, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you had to like be really good to get in. But and I hate to sound,
that's a penalty, sir.
I hate to say this like an old fogey, but the game was a lot tougher then. Like players were less protected, so you had to.
That's true too.
That's true. Like whereas now it's almost a non-contact sport at this point. So teenagers can probably function a lot better.
I'm looking at the comments like every once in a while now. So if there's a goal, and then I thought there was a comment, and Spencer says Rasmus is crap, but you don't have to look into the future to say that. So we'll take that. Let's get one in. That was a horrible corner.
I mean, it literally floated into his hands. It was a kick in a balloon.
Yeah, that was just like a silly move. Because honestly, like, otherwise he was probably going to give the foul. Is that Heaven? Dude, get back. Yeah, this is very naive from United too, though. It's almost like they got the sense that like, hey, maybe we can win this game. Whereas you have no business playing open against Arsenal. Just sit back, absorb the pressure, hit them on the counter. If nothing happens, take the drive and go home.
Especially as it's Man United and you probably all live in London.
Get an early start. Arteta's losing it.
He's trying to think of what meat to cook on his George Foreman grill for the post-match talk right now. That's what it is. He did chicken already. Like, it'll be a pork chop now.
Yeah, like you can kind of tell United is like, hey, man, you never know. Maybe we'll win this.
And then they remember how crap they are.
Yes. Ooh, that was bold.
He's playing quite well, that Heaven kid.
Yeah, like that was like I'm getting the ball or I'm getting you. Take your pick kind of a tackle.
That's what every tackle should be, really.
That's how every tackle used to be. But then the problem now is sometimes when it's not the ball, you can get a red card on those. I mean, half the tackles I used to pull are probably red cards now. Especially if you make full contact.
I'm just trying not to think if you pull in your tackle to mention. It's too early on a Sunday. Mid-afternoon.
It's never too early, trust me.
I still haven't fully digested that pie.
It's because it's cold. See, it takes longer to digest. That's good defending for that kid there.
But that's what I'm saying, though. The kids have a better sense of what they're supposed to do at United because they've come from the academy where they've had a set way of playing for years, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd be almost better off cutting loose. As we said, you probably can't do it now in this day and age, but cutting loose from the older experienced players and just go, right, Man United Project 2.0 with the kids, let's go again. And then see what they can build from that in the next 3 years.
Garnacho trying to get the wonder goal over here to make a name for himself, but 94 minutes. 4 minutes, chefs.
See, I said this before and I'll say it again. Look at this. As soon as you need a goal, passing out with the back goes out the window. Right? It's just sending everybody up the field so he can launch it long. It's all crap. It's a luxury passing out from the back. If you can't do it, don't do it. That reminds me, we didn't get the Celtic score from the Scottish Cup quarter-final. 1-0 up the last time we checked.
And I didn't look at if Galatasaray pulled it off or not. So there's that. Let me look at both for you and update you on the situations here. Galatasaray is actually losing 1-0 at halftime. Really have to scroll down for the Scottish thing. 2-0 Celtic.
Oh. That's another treble on for Brendan Rodgers.
Where are the United players? They got literally so excited that they can win this thing and what the hell? Did he save that?
Yeah, he did save it. It was a good save too. Well, the follow-up was
the first one was a shit save, right in the path of the attacker kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean, look at the United players jogging back. He's off.
Yeah, that would have the second one, the rebound.
Oh, that's what the call was. I thought it was at a corner kick, and I was like, "Holy cow, he saved that second one!" But no. 2 minutes, and it will be down to 16 points if it goes like this, right?
14.
14. I thought it was 18
between us and Arsenal.
No, points needed kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Matoush
15, Matoush, yeah.
Oh, really? Because I thought we needed 18 points, 6 more wins, 18 points to win the title. So I figured drop 2 points would make that.
Well, it's also 1 game less now as well.
Yeah, I kind of assume.
No, see, that's why you don't trust people who sell fashion for.
Do your own research.
Do your research, Matoush. Do your own research.
Whoa! Finish that. That's it. Oh, dude, what a save!
That was a good double save.
I mean, in some ways, you can't blame United. And I guess, we're just settle and take the draw. But, I mean, they have nothing to lose, for God's sake. So why not? That's a crazy save. And Højlund is waiting 80 yards off. Just play it from the back, kids.
Well,
like Mako always says.
Remember, his mother says he's handsome.
He looks even more handsome standing by himself 10 yards away from the line. Yeah, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm going ape shit right about now.
Yeah,
I never understand these.
15
kids,
seconds.
We tried to play from the back. We tried the slow setup thing. Here we are 94 minutes later. That is such a stupid set piece to give away. You just gave away a set piece instead of them passing the ball around a couple more times. That is a crazy save. Also a bad finish, but whew. Yeah, that's kept the minutes. Honestly, like if they get a win out of this game in the last second or something like that, it would be Mariah hit by single-handedly. Cross. Oh my God! And clearance. Anthony Taylor ends it. 1-1. The magic number is 15. Says Spencer. That's the full time at 1-1. What did we learn today? Aside from pie is better, colds, weather is an important part of our lives, where everybody lives. What did we learn? This title is we're gonna get the God of Honor from Arsenal.
The title's wrapped up. Arsenal don't want it. They're not playing like a team that
That's
wants
a good way
it.
of putting it, to be honest.
And Arteta is too stuck in his ways to change things to make their strikerless formation work. So, you know, if you've had champagne on ice or in the fridge next to the pie that I just ate on you, you know, take it out and get it to room temperature because it's happening. We're not going to have the collapse that Arsenal need to take us over. We're not going to have that. I think we have a not there's no easy games, but we have lower half table games. We have enough games in there to be confident about, if not overconfident. So I think it's done now. They needed to win this.
We saw this week, right? There's necessarily no like easy games until you kind of like you got to get really into it. But you're looking at obviously we have the final coming up after the PSG game, Everton, the derby game, never easy, but a game that you should probably win. Fulham away, West Ham home is another one, Leicester City away, Spurs at home, away to Chelsea, Arsenal, away to Brighton, at home to Palace. And you only need 15 points. And it just goes back to, we saw it again, Arsenal is not a team that's going to win all their games. So you don't have to even worry about that. But I think this is becoming more and more likely that it's going to be a God of Honor by Arteta and his boys over here. Yeah,
just looking at the fixtures with Fulham, Leicester, Spurs, Palace, and West Ham. That's five wins out of that 6, I think, that we named. Without having to worry about that with the teams.
85 is the most Arsenal can get. Yeah, this is pretty much. I mean, it was already pretty much over, right? And they're just like putting more and more of your cream on top of that freaking pie there.
The only thing about it is that not the only thing. There's many things about it, but it's weird to say. But Mark Goldbridge, the Man United guy, predicted Liverpool win in December. He said it was over in December.
Yes,
and he's been more confident about this than we have as Liverpool fans. But
I don't buy that. My brother does the same thing. That's almost to set it up to be able to come back and say, "You guys had it, man." It's almost like to be able to rub it in more, because my brother has been doing the same thing over the last 2-3 months. He's like, it was like, we'll have a big win. I was like, this was a huge weekend. We had a couple of weekends. I mean, we're talking, and on Monday morning, we talk about it with Matush. So we're like, what a weekend that was. We won, they lost and stuff. We had a bunch of those weekends, and I would mention it to him, and he'd be like, it was already over anyway. You guys are panicking for nothing and stuff. And honestly, I don't know if we were in a different situation, if this was, I don't know, Arsenal and Chelsea going at it, we would probably say this is a done deal for Arsenal way before we do for Liverpool, because there's a little PTSD involved.
Yeah, no, I said this yesterday in the post match. Like, it's still like a whole Liverpool thing to think, it's not, something's going to happen. There's going to be something like that's going to drag us back. But then going back to what we said at the start, then you kind of catch yourself on a bit and go, there's not that many games left. It just feels like there's a lot of games that things can go wrong in, but there isn't. I mean, just named like 6 games where we could just need 5 wins and then it's mathematically done.
Yeah,
and that's not counting any of the, beating Everton, beating Arsenal, beating is it Chelsea to play? I can't remember.
Chelsea they're playing.
Yeah, you know, it's done. Bar the singing, the shouting, whatever it is, the phrases. Bar the ready whip.
I mean, that is freaking crazy, dude. I mean, it's like feels unimaginable, but you're looking at the standings over here. I mean, that's just freaking, that's nuts. Up by 15 points, game in hand. So we'll be up by 12 points with 9 games to go.
Yeah,
that's in a team that has only lost once.
Who's Arsenal's game against in hand? Who's Arsenal's game? Arsenal has
Chelsea. That's the game.
Oh, they have
yeah, the game in hand is Chelsea.
They're not winning that easy if they're.
I don't think so. No.
So,
Spencer's taking off. We are as well. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all those joining us. As always, grab a friend by the ear, drag him over here. Definitely will be a great rest of the Sunday now. A lot of pies to be eaten, a lot to be taken care of. Mecca, thanks again, man. And then, I'll be back tomorrow morning with the Polish Prince. We'll celebrate even more tomorrow and talk about the weekend and probably talk a lot about food and random shit like we always do as well. But have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.